My sister-in-law took money from the bridesmaids for the Bachelorette trip that was already paid by her dad, and we were left in disbelief when we found out that she spent the money for a Melon job. I miss the days when bridesmaids were treated like people and not like stage props. My future sister-in-law is getting married, so of course, I'm a default bridesmaid. She didn't give us options for the dress. She picked it out and told us it's the one we'll be wearing. The dress is a strapless, backless, thigh-slit halterneck. I am a larger girl. Triple D chests should explain why I don't wear backless or halter styles. Backless means I can't wear any form of supportive bra and there is virtually no shapewear I can put underneath it. The only bras that work are stickies or tape, which do not hold me up in the least. I tried the dress on. My chest is spilling out the sides. Back rolls are on full blast, and I am popping out of this thing every which way. I'm so uncomfortable. I basically told the bride, sorry. I know it's your big day, but there is no way I'm wearing this dress. My body shape is different from the rest of the bridal party, and I can't justify wearing it. I told her I'd be fine if I can simply modify it to be more conservative at the back chest. She declined and told me to just be more confident in myself because all the dresses must be identical for photos. I have no body confidence issues. There are plenty of styles that suit my figure. It just so happens that this dress was not made for larger women and does not look on my body. I want to drop out of the wedding, but my family insists I stay in because it's my sister-in-law and it would ruin the wedding and the relationship. I don't get why I should have to be paraded around in front of my entire family, extended family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, etc. in an outfit that makes me uncomfortable. It's just getting ridiculous. Brides, please use enough tact to ensure your girl's comfort on your special day. We're humans, not props. Update. I've decided to stay in the wedding to avoid sending my mother to an early grave. However, I've also decided I'll be wearing the poop out of this dress and making sure the center of attention is not on the lovely bride. I tried to resolve the issue with tact in class and was shot down, so I feel I've earned the right to be petty. I'm going to order some specific shapewear that can be concealed under what little material this dress has. I'll be going full side honker, full shimmer added on the exposed back, and full body oil on the legs for the thigh slit. I'll be doing an updo on the hair, so nothing is getting in the way of this dress. I'll be wearing a shawl for everything else, but I trust that for the ceremony, I will be looking like Selma Hayek in Dusk Till Dawn. Let's see what she thinks about this body confidence she asked me to find. Girl, please. Update 2. About 6 months ago, the bride planned her destination bachelorette trip and charged each of the 11 girls $650 for the Airbnb. I was salty about the high cost, but it's my sister-in-law, so I sucked it up and paid her. I also was suspicious about the high AF price, so I did cross-check the Airbnb listing and it checked out, yes. This bee wanted $23,100/night beachfront house. Well, today, I'm chatting about wedding stuff with my brother, who is marrying future sister-in-law, and he said something along the lines of what a relief her dad paid for the Airbnb because that would have been so expensive for your group. I about choked. I said, hey, are you sure about that because all 11 girls paid $650 for the house alone? Maybe run it by her. His face turned purple, so I took it. He had no idea. To add to the greed going on here, when I got married, I flew her out, paid for her accommodations, hair and makeup, bridesmaid dress, and transportation because she was going through a hard time. Now she has the balls to steal from me. I get that weddings are expensive, but don't have one if it requires stealing from your BMs. I'm assuming I'm the only BM who is aware of what's going on here. Not sure if I should spill to the group or just let it go. There's a chance her dad stepped in and paid for it after the fact, and she just chose not to refund us. I'm not clear on the exact situation and want to avoid embarrassing my brother. Update 3. This is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to talk to my brother and give him a chance to clear it up with sister-in-law. Before I make a scene, I want to understand what's really going on. For example, did Daddy pay for the trip that sister-in-law decided to put that towards a different wedding expense? Things like that. That answer will determine when/how I tell the rest of the BMs. I'm going to give my brother only 1 to 2 days because this trip is literally next week. Update 4. Alright. So I regrouped with my brother. My mom also stepped in, bypassed my brother, and got some more info directly from her dad. Here's the tea. Future sister-in-law's dad did not offer to cover the cost until a few months after we all paid for the trip. This was after he found out the cost and was pissed that she chose a $23,100 night house and asked us to pay. Apparently, he threatened not to pay for the wedding if she added more expenses onto the wedding party. Turns out she originally wanted it at the Maldives and he forbid her. According to my mom, who chatted with him directly, he felt embarrassed when he heard about the Airbnb price and wanted to save face with my side of the family. So he gave sister-in-law about $7,000 to cover the cost of the house. She was supposed to refund us, but, obviously, that never happened. This is where it gets good. So my mom went to the FBI and learned that in addition to not paying us, sister-in-law didn't put the money towards a different wedding expense either. She doesn't have it. So where did it go? What did she spend it on? There is currently a full-blown investigation going down between our two families I have been asked by my mom not to alert the BMs just yet until we get the last bits of info and come to a resolution with both sister-in-law and her dad, but we will tell them ASAP one way or another. I will come back tomorrow with another update. Wow, crazy. Update 5. The plot thickens. So as this drama is all unfolding, the maid of honor, who doesn't know what's going on yet, is continuing her duties. We all get a 4-paragraph text from her outlining the dress code for each night of the Bachelorette for the bride's orders. Keep in mind the bride is asking us all to go out and buy new outfits for each night of the trip. And the themes are wild: animal print Thursday, faux fur Friday, sparkle dress Saturday, and Barbie brunch Sunday. As if we're all going to go out and buy that poop 1 week before the trip or at all. Thankfully, the BMs seem to be waking up to the BS. Several of them wrote back saying they won't be able to pull together those outfits in time, and one flat out said it's just not going to happen. But that's just a side story to the absolute poop show that is unfolding. My mom is very involved now as she's paid a decent chunk of this wedding as well and does not like that the bride is throwing around $1,000 from her dad as well as lying to the bridal party. She set up a meeting directly with sister-in-law to cut the BS and explain what's going on. She told sister-in-law she's going to inform the BMs herself unless she gets a valid answer. At this point, I'm just shoveling down popcorn waiting for the events to unfold. I will be back tonight with hopefully the final update. Update 6. A swan ice sculpture. She used the $7,000 to book a swan-shaped ice sculpture to be displayed at the reception and didn't tell anyone. Turns out her dad banned her from adding any more extras to the wedding design because it was already so expensive and unnecessary. When he paid her for the Airbnb, she thought she was being sneaky and kept it instead. She didn't even tell my brother this. He only found out that her dad decided to cover the Airbnb because those two went out for cigars one night, and it came up. So that mystery is solved. Thanks to my mini FBI crew. But now the real questions remain. Where is my $650? And how do I break the news to the BMs? Out of the kindness of her soul, my mom is giving sister-in-law 24 hours to confess to the bridesmaids and figure out how to pay us back our money. Because you know what? I did not spend $650 on some damn ice. I have kids to feed. I have bills to pay. It is taking everything in me not to text the BM group right now, but my mom is trying to give sister-in-law one opportunity to do the right thing. This has been a roller coaster. Don't know if anyone here is still interested, but let me know if I should post the final outcome with the BMs in one last update. Lord have mercy. Update 7. Okay. As promised, here is the latest tea served boiling hot. This is a long update, and I'm going to try to get everything in. First, let's start with the bride's explanation to her family, myself, my mom, my brother, and her dad. She broke down crying, saying that wedding planning has been getting to her head, and she has been crushed under the pressure to have the perfect wedding, which she felt couldn't go on without this alleged ice swan. I didn't buy her sob story. After this whole incident, I think she is a delusional, controlling, attention-starving bridezilla who is using the wedding as a way to compete with other girls on Instagram. By the way, her job is influencer if I didn't mention that yet. My brother took the bait. To be honest, I don't even blame him. This is his future wife, and he said he wants to help her with her mental health and get her back to a good place. He is disturbed by the situation, but will continue to support her. The wedding is on for those who were curious. Next, let's get into the matter of the missing $7,000 and whether we're getting our money back. The sad, gut-wrenching answer: probably not. Her dad said he has already paid the Airbnb cost once and he will not do it again. He said his daughter is 31 and needs to get herself out of her own mess and figure out how to make it right. She chimed in that the $7,000 is gone and asked how she would possibly pay us back. My brother refused to pay for her screw-up. While I love that everyone is finally forcing this be an adult, I would like my money back more. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it unless she magically wins the lottery or gets a real job. For those that asked, there is nothing we can do legally. We all willingly paid a fixed amount, and we would have to move mountains to sue. Plus, while she was incredibly shady and a terrible friend, she technically didn't do anything wrong that we could prove. Now on to the bridesmaids. After some threats from my mom, sister-in-law finally broke down and contacted the BMs in our group chat. She sent a text that made my skin crawl. "Hey, ladies. You're my bride squad, so I feel compelled to share that my dad recently offered to pay for our BAC accommodations. However, being that the wedding is so expensive, I have decided to put his donation towards a wedding expense. I hope you all understand, and I can't wait to party with you all next week." Oh, hell no. I immediately replied back, making sure everyone knew the expense was an ice sculpture, an ice swan. Come on, people. Many of them replied and expressed how they would have loved to use that $650 for something more important, but ultimately no one has backed out. One of the girls started a side chat without the bride and asked if there is any chance of getting our dollar back if we force sister-in-law to cancel the reservation. Unfortunately, since we're only a week out, we aren't eligible for a refund. They decided to go through with the BAC or else it would be a literal waste of $650. As for myself, I'm in the same boat. I would rather run myself over than go on this trip, but $650 is not a small amount, and I can't fathom just throwing it down the drain. I haven't made my final decision yet. If I do go, it will solely be to avoid eating the $650 plus my airfare. I will not be doing any of the planned events or outfits or contributing even $1 more. I would have my own mini vacation as best I can. I'm really upset that it seems like this crazy person is going to get her way after all. Update 8. There are so many curious comments coming in, so I want to keep you in the loop. More drama has unfolded among the bridesmaids. The side text without the bride popped off, and we have all agreed to do the following. We will be going on the trip, but it is no longer a bachelorette trip. We will all be taking personal vacations with our hubby/significant others while staying at the property. We were forced into this beachfront mansion plus airfare, so we're going to make the most of it. We have all backed out of hosting and paying for the bridal shower. The bride will need to find another way to move forward if she wants to have it. We will attend as guests if she has it, and we will not be gifting anything. The mother of the bride is absolutely furious. More on this later. We're letting the bride know she needs to cancel the ice swan and give us our money back. After some more research, we doubt all of the $7,000 went towards the alleged swan because it doesn't seem like and they cost that much. I won't be back for a while because I want to save my next update for after the trip. Stay tuned. Final update. Warning. This is a long one. The absolute tea I have today. It took me so long to write this because I am at a complete and utter loss for words. Where to begin? Let me start with this. There is no ice swan. There never was an ice swan. It was all an elaborate fabrication designed to distract everyone from where the missing $7,000 actually went. R.I.P. Ice Swan. Turns out there was a reason behind sister-in-law's luxury bachelorette location. Here's what happened. All the bridesmaids show up to the beachfront mansion with our significant others. Sister-in-law had already been made aware that it was no longer a bachelorette, but to our complete shock, she was still stunned that we actually meant it. She arrived last in her pre-booked limo, absolutely fuming that no one else showed up to the limo meeting spot at the airport. She was the only one still sticking to the original itinerary. Then she was flabbergasted that the husband/those were with us. It was a comedy show at best. Anyway, we went about our individual mini vacations and eventually someone realized it had been about 48 hours since anyone had seen sister. I assumed she was mad and either flew home or went to stay somewhere else. Then the unthinkable unfolds. Sister-in-law rolls up the driveway in a wheelchair being pushed by two female nurses. The entire group jumped into action thinking something horrible happened. Everyone ran over to see what was going on, but the nurses ushered us away and wheeled sister-in-law into her room. At this point, I'm actually very concerned. We're all banging on her door asking if she's okay. The nurses eventually leave and say they legally can't reveal the nature of her health issue, but assure us she's fine. I call my brother and mom, but get no answer. So I finally decide to call her mom, also known as the mother of the bride, who was furious that we took over the bachelorette party. Mom reveals what actually took place. She isn't sick. She didn't have a health issue. There was no accident. She got her honker done. Yes, folks. You read that correctly. As part of the original itinerary, she had planned to disappear for an afternoon and return with a set of new melons. I'm sorry, what? The location of the beachfront mansion is conveniently 5 minutes away from a very famous cosmetic surgeon's office. The reason she needed this giant property was not really to host 11 girls. It was to host 11 girls plus the surgery recovery nurses and personal chef she had reserved for after the operation. There is so much more that we need to unpack. I honestly don't know where to begin. What was her mother's knowledge/involvement in all this? What was the cost of the procedure, guessing around $7,000, and why was it meant to be part of the BOC? What was the purpose of the ice swan lie? What the F? Will the bridesmaids pursue legal action? Where does this leave my brother? Is this lady okay mentally? Was this a horribly misplaced cry for attention? Was it an FU to the bridesmaids somehow? So many questions remain. I am only a few hours back from this trip, so this is all the information I have right now. I was intending for this to be my final update. I literally want to write a book about this experience. I've already revealed a great deal of info, and so to protect my brother's privacy moving forward, I think I need to step away from the updates.